Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So, let me talk about GreedFall. But before, I want to talk a little bit about the format that I do with quick looks. On its creation, it was supposed to be a quick look on the game after I finished, so I could give my opinion to you. But this time on GreedFall, there's something interesting. This game captivated me for some reason, so that's one of the reasons why I'm decided to do even if I don't finish the game. I kind of plays a little bit more than 6 hours in, and the real reason why I'm deciding to go on to do this quick look, it's because I highly recommend, and that's I kind of wanted to place the word out there. This game comes from a developer known as Spider Studios. They already did a couple games. Wars Logs Mars, then yes, was clunky to say the least. The combat was not that good. This history was man. Well, companions are not almost non-existent. They try, and they earned the title of a quote-unquote Bioware Light. They did it again with Technomancer with, well, different degrees of success. But in God damn it, I always start calling this game GreedFall. But GreedFall hits a little bit better, I might add. The game hits a couple of notes better than all the other games they did. It's a game that I highly recommend because right now in this day and age it's fairly difficult to find a good RPG. Now, I'm going to admit it, their companions are not like Miranda, Tally, or Garrus level, but they do interact with each other and they do interact with the world around. During conversations allow the character to solve the problem, or even just having the character does change a lot of it. Because the way they put out this, I have to say it's a highly interesting. What one thing is, it is. Maybe even your companions are not the most interesting, although they have their moments to shine. The world feels very interesting lore-wise, of course. There is a lot of things there. There is the plague. The game does, of course, goes for a colonizer feeling, where you are literally doing you're a governor, you're the cousin of a governor, and you are there on the new colonized island between two different superpowers. Interesting enough, but those superpowers are just a mixture of the European kind, with you being a little bit of a European too, but not that big, and the Arabic one. One being more put it to a Catholic, not Catholic, but a religious centric by utilizing saints and divine and things like that, and the whole, and no one's expect the Spanish Inquisition there too. And the Arabic ones are the more science, less godly folk. Let me be honest, for what I play, none of the factions are good. All of they have their own point of shit, but well, choose the one that you like and go for it. Or try to balance this fucking thing, because that is the message of the game. Now, story-wise, I'm not gonna talk much, because as I said, I didn't go far deep, and that is what I got it from. Now, besides all of this bullshit, this game has problems. That's not a fucking denial. The game is a double A, and it sometimes shows. I did experience a couple slowdowns, mostly when loading new areas or on combat where there is a lot of shit on it. And it's not all areas, it's mostly areas where there is a lot of shit on it. So that's maybe a thing. Bugs there existed, but they are working on fixing, so that's pretty good. I like a developer who's trying to fix bugs. Something that nowadays are very, very far between. The combat is not that hard. It's a classic it's a classic parry, dodge, heavy attack, quick attack, potions. It does take a little bit of a page from Dragon Age book, allowing you to pause the game utilizing a tactical menu, then give you all your choices plus items and spells. The voice acting is very good. I kind of recognize a couple of the voice actors, maybe because I play Mars Log, or maybe because, well, they're probably more famous voice actors there. But the reason is I'm not good with names and not good with recognizing people. Hell, if I list a song, I'm not gonna be able to recognize the band, even if I'm having happen to listen the fucking song for hours. But I have to say, in some way, all of this, all the PCs, even the clunky ones, the fact that sometimes the world feels empty by lack of NPCs on the place. Interesting enough, this just occur a little bit more after you go to the new world. The place turns to be a little less lived in, less NPCs around, and some of the environments are a little bit similar. You're going to end up seeing almost some repeating places, not only on places, but the enemy is not that. You're not gonna see a lot different enemies. It's gonna be the same, like tribal human, thug human, faction human. Some of the creatures will be cool and they will surprise you a little bit, but well, it's that once you see one, you see it in all. So that may be detracted. In the end, that's the interesting fact about the game that makes me want to do this video. There is a lot of positives. I'm not going to deny that there is a lot of positives on this game, but also there is a couple of negatives. On the reality is, if a word, and for me, as I said a couple times, a good history can and mostly always excuse, in my opinion, a quote-unquote clunky mechanic, subpar graphics, or things like that. And right now, GreedFall is hitting all the notes, so I will literally excuse most of the clunky, most of the not perfect combat, just because they are scratching that itch for RPG. Then somewhat you have choices, and your choices kind of go somewhere where you have companions, and your companions are not just like literally stereotypes plastered in and doesn't make anything. I'm going to say I highly agree and I highly recommend on this game. GreedFall is interesting, and I think supporting this game maybe turning one day, it's a step on the double A direction. Double A developers are pumping up so many better things than the triple A's right nowadays. Then I think it's worth. So, in the end, that's the interesting fact. Spider Studios, even if there are signature problems in this game, so to speak. For example, I have to say the facial animation sometimes scared the hell out of me. They make a good mark on this one. So, I have to say that I do recommend it. GreedFall, ladies and gentlemen. In my opinion, a buy. If you're still unsure, put on your wish list, wait a couple patches, see if there's new content. But I have to say, it is a good one. Worth a try. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. This was the video. If you enjoyed, leave it a like. If you didn't, leave it a dislike. If you have anything to say, please leave a comment. And if you want to see what the hell is gonna be coming next on this mess, subscribe. And see you guys on the next episode.